Okay. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever you find yourself. It is good to be back here again every Sunday, you know, to discuss some important issues that affects the world, issues that affects our society, our community, and so forth. So, whatever you are watching right now, we just want you to share, our show. My name is Titus V. Ballah, and we are coming to you live from the beautiful city of Kigali, that's Rwanda. So whatever you are, just share our show and then encourage your colleagues to follow. Today, our show going to be kind of a different. We're going to discuss national issues that affect the world. As you may be aware right now, there's a Ebola outbreak in DRC. The previous Ebola outbreak, it came from DRC that went to Liberia. So right now, this identical Ebola strain, according to the BBC, is kind of a different. It's not like the previous one. So right now they don't have vaccine for this identical Ebola strain. So it just according to the BBC, it just blow out of the blue sky, like that. It was the health practitioner took notice of that very late. So at the end of the day, many people go, many people got they got affected from the process. So now they are trying to put things in place. There is no proper facility yet, all those stuff. And looking at, we are right here in Rwanda, DRC. You have Uganda. According to they say Uganda have two. They had two cases, or one person went to from DRC went to Uganda, and then so forth. So there are a lot of things we're going to talk here tonight. We're also going to look at some of looking at students being in Rwanda here, most especially from Liberia. What are some other things you have observed so far that you want to take back to Liberia, or that you could recommend that Liberia could copy from Rwanda, looking at how Rwanda is progressing in terms of development, how Rwanda is progressing in terms of technology, how Rwanda is progressing even in terms of the education, so forth. So these are some of the things we're going to discuss, and I have my colleague at the back, that's Sylvester Blessing JJ. He's going to join me right now, and we're going to start from somewhere. And I don't know how's the Sunday going. How was service today? Let me bring JJ on. Good evening, Sylvester. How you doing?
Bella, and good evening, and good afternoon, good morning to our listeners wherever they are. Again, I'm happy to be here. It has been a rough week, but
Okay.
we cannot get tired of engaging with our audience,
Yeah,
especially
sure.
on matters pertaining to the development and current event. And let me just say in that respect. But on the overall, I'm doing well, and Alhamdulillah for great things He has done and greater things that He continues to do.
Yeah, bro. It
Am
is
I
always
audible?
good. Yeah, yeah. You are good. You are good. You are good. It's always good to have you on, man. Despite all of the schedule, you usually make it your duty to come on every time to discuss some issues. Kind of important. As a young people, it's good to give back to the society. We give back to the society in many ways, and most especially for us who are still in school. These are some of the ways we can give back to our society by coming on, sharing our thoughts on some national issues, discussing some issues of important. It's kind of a good. It helps to educate those people who probably will come across the video and they don't have ideas on what you're going to be discussing. It's going to contribute to their level of understanding as well. So it's good having you on always. So how's the Sunday? How's the Sunday going with you? It's about 10 minutes after now here in Rwanda. and you are here in Kigali. How's the Sunday going?
Yeah, son is well. Today I attended church, and then the Liberian community in Rwanda had a sporting tournament, and today was the grand finale. So
Okay.
I had to go there, and though I've been missing for a couple of games, so I had to go there and show some support for the conclusion. So that's how my day were. I attended the defense, thesis defense of my colleague, my brother and friend, longtime brother and friend, and that's how my schedule was looking like today. But everything went well anyway. Thank God
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
home.
So to speak of that game, it's kind of important. Like in our society, they say football bring togetherness. It bring that kind of a unity. So that's why once I was following Precious, I think Precious TV, something like that. They were carrying the game live at a certain point in time. I mean, almost all of the games that have been played, they were carrying the games live, and I want to say kudos to them because I think these games
It's
are played
pressure
in
point. Pressure
pressure point,
point.
right? Okay, that's pressure point.
Pressure
That's good.
point.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for that
Mm.
correction. So they've been doing their best actually to carry the game live. Many people been following from Liberia, in other parts of the world. And we want to say close to the leadership of the Liberian community here in Rwanda, for organizing social activities. These are activities that usually bring people together, you know. But the sad part of it, I was not able to attend, any of those events, though I follow you online. And I think those games were played in Wamagana, right? Yeah, and they brought the final to Kigali.
Yeah. They play games in Wamagana and play some of those games in Kigali as well, but it was on another sport pitch. But
Ah,
for
okay.
the grand finale, it was in Kigali at
And who
Chikon.
and who won? Alenda Yanza took the day.
Yeah, the game was very interesting and it was a tough game anyway. But I think maybe the community has to look in that direction to see if they can form a community team. Mr. Bala, I can tell you we have a very good players in this country, especially in our community. Very good players. And I mean the talent displayed by both teams, but at the end of the day, one person gotta win.
Yeah, sure, sure.
And I mean, Yansa players were very exceptional. And
Okay.
at the end of the day, Yansa took the championship for soccer, and I think in basketball, there's a chapter also took the. But for the kickball, a honor review, according to the sport people.
Something went on. Something went
Yes,
on.
also honor review. Yeah.
Ah, God. Yes, there's a saying that says, steady without play, may Jackie a dog or Jack a dog board, cannot continue steadying, steadying, steadying. Sometimes you have to marry, make small, you have to play to stress free the mind. So it was, it's kind of okay to have such a gathering. And then, like I said, I want to appreciate the Liberian community here in Rwanda. uh, you know, uh, the chairman and his entire uh, cabinet or members of their leadership, for the kind of effort. It's not easy to bring people together. There are a lot of things on our field. It's not easy because of information. But that's why these are things that can happen once you have many people gather together, to cherish other person on the other side. But on the overall, we want to say, yeah, at least thank God it all went well. And Yanza won, I think, like you said, the football. And it's good. And Yanza is one that the Yanza has more population when it comes to Liberians. One of the population, the community that have more Liberians. They kind of, I don't know, they just part of together. They are not far from each other. So they are really united in Yanza. So for me, it's not kind of a strange to me for Yanza
And
to
interestingly, Yanza team, the girls team went to the grand finale as well.
just
The
imagine
girl,
those people are they are closer
yeah,
together.
invested a whole lot in the.
Yeah, and they apply more effort practicing, But it is good, man. So that's it, comrade. So today, like I said, so folks, if you are watching, we want to say thanks for joining us. We have two person watching. Just drop your comment in the comment section so that we can maybe recognize you, and you can also help to share our show. Like I stated earlier, we're going to discuss just few issues today, national issues, or yeah, or international issues as well, looking at the current outbreak in DRC. We all know what Ebola did in our country, in Africa. You know what Ebola did. It's not something to look at, just like that. You have to put all those measures in place, because at the end of the day, you have people that could cross border trade and other things. People kind of are interconnected. Most especially the portion of Rwanda that is somewhere closer to DRC. That area, Goma, have more population according to the BBC, more population in Goma. So you find out that people from Goma coming to how do you call it place, Rwanda. I want to call that area name.
Liverpool.
Yeah, Riverview right there. So they usually enter what you have like Kivo. They usually enter and change things. So if you have such an outbreak in DRC, it means that Rwanda to have to take precaution. Uganda on the other side, how do you South Sudan on the other side, they have to take precaution, because once the thing spread, it becomes problem. And according to the BBC, this identical virus strain now, it's kind of a different, it's new, so it means that people have to go instead it to get
Even you,
the proper vaccine, for such a case. And looking at the situation now, it took the people unaware. So even the facility right now, it becomes difficult. Still trying to build up, facility and other things like that. So what do you make of, that kind of activities? Looking at what happened, in Liberia a few years back. It was not even Liberia, one other countries in Africa got affected from that, then they got disease.
yeah, Mr. Ballah, there are two major things countries struggle with. You see regional or internal conflict,
Mm-hmm.
and then you see outbreaks of disease or something that has to do with epidemiology and stuff like that. It's something that many countries struggle with, especially when it comes abrupt. No one plan to get a specific mechanism in place to say any virus can already know how to combat it immediately. It has to be thoroughly studied. It has to be, and you have to trace the origin, and then before you engage with partner, if there is this, if there are vaccines, for those viruses and so forth. So I just wanted to say that even Uganda experienced one guy, he left DRC and he died in Uganda. But it
Yeah.
is the government now to take the decision, make a statement whether they. But now they say they are still investigating, and they're doing trace studies. But immediately after his death, they repatriated his body to DRC. But as of now, we have not heard any reported case in Uganda and all in other neighboring countries. But we are hoping for the best. That that's part of the ups and downs in DRC with these regional conflicts and everything. We're hoping that they will be able to stand their ground to fight against that outbreak. Because remember, these things that we are talking about is something at a certain point in time, 2014, and even I think I don't know whether it will occur before 2014 in Uganda, but I'm speaking in our capacity as a Liberian. That's something that we struggle with. It takes away some of the time to think for development, because before you get around development, you gotta make sure the people well-being
Yeah.
is on track. So these are things that now you have shifted government. The virus has what would other shifted government focus now from carrying out development, but to fighting the outbreak to ensure that the lives of its citizens are preserved.
Yeah, sure, sure. And I think that's the responsibility of every government, every responsible government. Your ultimate priority is your citizens, because how do you call the population is a resources, right? Once you have more population, it also contribute to economic growth and other stuff like that. So once you have such a outbreak, focus on the citizen. Make sure you put all those precautionary measures in place that people will follow to reduce, any casualty or something like that, or death and other things. So we pray that WHO going to do their best, and even other health organization as well, going to work to have this identical, you know, outbreak to a certain level, because like I stated, people have a lot of connection, they link with each other. So it means that if you close the border from DRC to Rwanda, you also close the border from Rwanda to Uganda, you also close the border from DRC to this place, to Sudan. It means that people, when it comes to businesses and other things, that other people will start feeling it. So it means that there's a technical activity is not only going to affect those people within that specific country, it's going to cross, across to other country as well. So whether it is a viral or through trade means, you're going to feel the infect as well. So all we can do is to have them in prayer, and we hope that, like I said, the WHO going to put things in place to have that case settled. So we have Avina Thompson watching. She said, I'm following from Kigali. Hello, Uncle JJ. Okay, Avina, thank you so much for watching. We appreciate. Kindly share our show. Encourage your people to follow. If you have any, you can also make your input concerning what we are discussing about Ebola. We're also going to look at some activities here as an international students. We spend some of being here more than 4 years now, 5 years now. And the essence of traveling is not only about, like what, let me just narrate to school or study. It's not only about just going in the country, you just study and leave, carry a degree. There are a lot of things comes with studying in another country. It means that you are going in our country to study, observe the people environment, see how the people do things, how they run things. What are those development that in that country that you don't have in your country, that you think if you take in your country, you're going to resonate with other activities within your country? What are those new technology, that being used in this country that you think if you take back to your country, it's going to improve your country development? What are those activities when it comes to security? What are those measures, that you think you can also take from this country to carry to another country? So it going beyond only study. It comes to a whole package. Yeah, because if you travel, leave from Rwanda, go Liberia, these are some of the questions people going to ask you. How was, and I don't know whether the guys in Rwanda, they have us. I don't know whether they teaching it in school. Come back, every time you meet up with Rwandese, once you say you from another country, they notice the first question they ask you, how do you see Rwanda? How do you see Rwanda? The security, how do you see? So it, like, I don't know. I don't know whether they sat in meeting and they discuss the thing. The people are so concerned. Once you meet with them, the first question they ask you, they're like, you're not from, yeah, from so and so country. The next thing, how do you see Rwanda? They want you to give your view. But the next bill will go security. How's the security? Because they know they have good security. So it almost, I don't know, should I say they can be boasting sometimes? Because every time I ask a question, I don't know whether you came across such a question from any Rwandese, looking at the years you have spent here so far.
Yeah, so I think that's patriotism, you know, that's patriotism. I mean, it's something that even others may struggle with. You come from a country where you're not proud to like openly ask and a stranger, how do you see my country? And it's not more about like they are boasting, but I think there's a patriotic survey that they usually do, and maybe when they meet in a various local leadership meetings, and these are things that one thing that is what can I say, that resonates with me over the time I've been here is contract, a performance contract.
Okay.
No, the government is structured in a way that they have a local government and central government. You understand?
Mm.
With these full provinces plus Kigali, and each province has district, and each district has sector, and each
Yeah,
sector has cells, and each
yeah,
cells have
yeah.
village or villages, and so and in all those chain of leadership, they have people there that steer the affairs at different level. And if you steer the affairs at a level as executive secretary for a sector, you must have a performance contract. If you will serve for 2 years, 3 years, what do you see that is lacking in this sector that your leadership can improve upon? And these are things that it requires a whole lot of support, and because of the strong political will from the central government, that's why you see these people, they are confident, to ask, because involve the politics. Maybe some stranger may want to, cast expression on their leadership and with his interaction in the global or the global and regional politics and what of you. But I mean, when it comes on the record of social development, deliverables of social development, I mean, though they are still they are still trying to be to where they want to be, but I mean they have made an immense effort. And one thing, let me say this,
Mm.
with regard to the performance contract, this is something that I've seen over the time that this government has adopted.
Okay.
Every year they take cabinet members plus the president himself
Mm.
to the people.
Yeah, they have that kind of a gathering. I think the last time,
Yeah.
yeah, they,
That one
they
is different from this, different from the way where the president will come say he do state of the nation and what of you, right?
yeah,
Though it's a fragment, but it's been held for like a different day. That taking cabinet and the president to the people is being held for like sometimes 2 3 days. So that
yeah.
means all cabinet members, especially those ones that are key into strategic sectors, they sit on panel and take questions. They talk of
Mm.
their achievement in midterm or yeah, they talk about their achievement along the way. They evaluate themselves and the audience evaluate them. Because you cannot be serving as Minister of Infrastructure Development and then this person is from this district or from this sector and this thing is lacking, and
Sure.
it's affecting the people with the president or the president. You got to answer that question, because if the resources are not available, you still answer the question, and they take note and then they go around and address it. Just to end on
Yeah.
this note, before you come in, over the time I have, with all level of boasting, but I have traveled this country a lot.
Okay.
I have traveled like all provinces in this country. I have not been to all of the 30 districts, but I
Mm.
have traveled to, I know 30 or 33, but I have traveled to almost half. And one
Mm.
thing that will amaze you, Mr. Bala, there are some districts that you go to. I mean, the rural part,
Mhm.
you're not seeing top whole rules. I mean, after the road are leading from the bus station in Yabugogo, right?
Yeah, yeah. Going all the
To
way.
the inner district, you going straight, and you can even go and come back the same day.
Yeah,
Well, a
sure.
5 hour route. Once you have the ability to drive and come, you can go and come back the same day. The country, like our Minister of Finance usually say, the road to development, that road. And I think this is the philosophy that the country has relied on immensely to ensuring that road connectivity, despite road may not be in all of the villages, but there should be a good road that leading to all districts. And this is
Sure.
something that I see that these people continue to uphill impact. Secondly, to the security aspect, there are community road all over. You know that when you no one can doubt it. Even in America, they get community road there too. That's why
Yeah, sure.
America get advanced security system to the border, but they still get ICE in the street checking around, and for criminals and illegal immigrants. But the security is being put in tight because they have a vigilante group that is under the sector or under the district that patrols community. So I think when Rwandese ask, you or even me, they speak from a vantage point of patriotism, and they are confident what the leadership has provided for them over the 30 some plus years. At the end of the genocide, the 1994 genocide against the Tutsis. So there has been immense effort made, and I think this is something that even if we take it back, we can talk to our leaders, but the political will, once it is lacking, you will not have these things in place. Thank you very
Sure,
much.
sure, sure. Talking about role, some part just yeah, a few days I travel like 5 to 6 hours away from Kigali, and the road was like you said from Yamingogo all the way to that place. It was paved. It is paved road, and you have cameras all along the road. I said
And
the
not
Lord,
only paved road, but paved road on hills where
oh
you can
yeah,
be on
oh
the hill,
yeah,
you see
you
valley.
see all the
You
way
see it
down.
down more than 15, 20, 30, 50 feet.
And it's like the road somehow looking tricky. It's like you driving straight and you looking at the road coming to where you're coming from. Yeah, I mean I don't know those guys who did engineering. They really did well. I mean they really developed the road. Look, the road very paved. And even though buses are along the road, because of that, those buses are very clean. Those buses are clean. You see speed camera all along the road. If you travel like so now 2 3 hours, you will see police along the road standing. Security. One armed man, another man there standing. Sometimes they will stop you guys to ask some questions, just like that. And then you'll continue to move. So once you talk about development and then you have that kind of a road connectivities, it's also contributing immensely when it comes to development. And that's one thing thank God in Liberia now I'm seeing some improvement when it comes to road. They're trying to develop. And one thing I also observe in the country, comrade, when it comes to the way the country lay out, the alleys in the rural community, most you cannot be in Kigali or everywhere. You can't pass in somebody yard to go to the next person yard. No, alleys are all over, and that's why it makes it easier for those who comes around to collect the waste. They just drive right to your, I mean, stay before your gate, and then they collect the waste they leave. So you don't have to pass through somebody yard before entering another person yard pass. So the issue about, I mean, zoning and then try to create that kind of a alley system in our country, I think we have to look at that. Because that one of the things I observed, like the place I went the few days, the place is laid out. It's laid out everywhere. And one thing, they don't joke with front view. They don't joke with front view. I don't know the people who have those front views. I don't know. I think they can rent it, something like that. They don't joke with front view. So if it doesn't have the capacity to develop the front view, you either lease a place to somebody and then you find another place you go at the back. Or the person can pull a store in front and then you have your building at the back. That's another thing I observe here. You can have, because the first thing if somebody travel to your house, somebody reach to your home, come in, the first thing the person will enter in your living room. Or let's say in the yard, they start from the yard, enter in your living room. That person will not just enter in your bedroom. No. Sometimes your living room in your bathroom. So if you have a very unique living room, very clean, decent. Even the person want to urinate, you also have a little bathroom there. The person go there, the place is sparkling clean. Come here, when the person leave your house, they go home, they're going, I visited my colleague's house. They bought places well organized. They get places well organized. But they enter in the room, they know how to go in the room, whether you sleep on the floor, that one, they don't know. But the first, things that they saw when they enter in the place, in your living room, they saw how decent. And that's how we're not looking. You enter to the place along the road, though there are some, areas here that. But the first thing, once you enter Kigali, you're driving alone. You see, it's also beautiful places on Eloni Road, beautiful stores, houses Eloni Road. You don't see one old building saying now on the road. You say, yeah, what you doing? But on our side, you have some people who have buildings in that place, and even to paint the building, it becomes problem to them. And you say you want for the country to be clean, you know. And like you said, the people they right to ask those questions because almost like evaluation. They're trying to evaluate how things going, like how things are in your country, what is okay, what are people saying outside there when they go back home, when they visit your country and they're going back. What are those information they usually carry to other people? And that's why you see the country now, Rwanda, every time you have a lot of tourists coming in, people from different countries coming. Yeah. Like I was saying, the question is, you spend like 5 years or 4 years here now. Yeah. What are those things that you are observe? Looking at what we discuss and maybe the other ones ahead. What are those things you are observe? You know, when it comes to development, yeah, in terms of development, let's take it from development, then we'll go to technology and so forth. What are the things that you observe you think we can take
So
back?
yeah, like I make the first emphasis on the rule because the rural development are rule, right?
Mm-hmm.
You observe that the government through the Rwanda Utility Regulatory Authority, right?
Yeah.
They are more like almost like they're working with Minicom, but they are more like that regulates and public goods.
Yeah, yeah.
Those, yeah,
Those, yeah.
in terms of electricity, water, the pricing now, you understand? So you see, one thing because they have the road, good road connectivity, government is at ease to regulate transport fare out of Kigali for the commoners. You see that they have an unique transport system
Sure.
to travel out of Kigali. You got the system that is in place where buses have are well organized with different companies giving services on the same price to the same location. You understand? So you will see that despite these crisis in Iran with Iran and Israel, with small hack in the fuel price, but you see, without hacking the fuel price, government were able to regulate that the transport. Government were able to regulate the transport fare in a way that it will not totally affect consumers. You understand? But unlike for our country, you understand? If government come up with policy of transport fare, you see it will be active for like 1 week. Before you go to bam, the whole thing change. And you understand?
Yeah.
So the system for that's why the transporting the system they put the mechanism they put in place for transport is an approach that we need to take through or think through. Another thing you talk about the waste collection. Let me tell you this thing. I have said this time with odd numbers, and in one of our program, I didn't mention this. We hear say, oh, you are dirty, you are dirty. The people don't joke with outsourcing because when you outsource some critical services, you know what you do there? You bring competition, and when you bring competition, you know what happens? You achieve your objectives. Why is true that you will still need some cleaners on government payroll, but you cannot
Yeah.
have a ministry predominantly the cleaners there, they are all civil servant. And once they get on civil servant payroll, you cannot easily take them from there.
And they
But when you
relax.
outsource, yeah. But when you outsource that service to private company that engage in the sanitation, You know why you're doing that? You're bringing more people to get involved in the sanitation activities. And when more
Yeah.
people get involved in the sanitation activity, the press become competitive. When the press become competitive, they have to deliver.
Mm.
They have to deliver. So that is to say, you have a public institution that you go to, you feel very relieved because the person who responsible for the sanitation of that public institution, you know very well, they on private payroll. Anytime they can kick them out,
Sure.
and they got to provide for their family, so they got to do that job diligently. To that one, let me make emphasis to to the community as well for sanitation. Moreover, City Corporation, there are not too many sanitation companies that are signed with that are operating under Moreover City Corporation. Yeah, they have the city of Kigali, but not the city of Kigali passing around collecting debt.
Hmm.
You understand? But you know what
Yeah.
Moreover City Corporation did?
No.
Moreover City Corporation made sure that function resonate within them so they can. You heard the other day the president was complaining about resources. And I'm not talking about the current president, former president, and our country dirty and everything. Then on the other side, yeah, our favorite lawyer, Councilor Pearl Brook Brown, who served on the MCC, and I think as one of the ambassador for sanitation, something like that. She was trying to
Mm.
counter respond. But you see, these are things, right? You also those services. And by virtue of the fact that you also it, you make neighborhoods through that leadership structure to be subjected to it. Tell how do you dispose debt? People come to your house and they collect your debt. You can't tell
Yeah.
us I will dispose my debt myself. No, that because once you outsource that, you have given the private company. Do you know what you have done now? You are giving a private company some level of authority because you bad their side, and also you also bad the side of the common people because when common people make debt, you now want to dispose it themselves before they dispose it in the wrong way. At the end of the day, it
Yeah.
cause health hazard to the neighborhood. So the way they structure the sanitation mechanism where there are too many private companies in different communities collecting debt. You cannot move in a community and say you dispose your debt yourself. No way. In the city of Kigali, no way. So these are
Not
things that we
possible.
have to these are things that we have to look at in another way to seeing that if you give more right to private companies and that collect garbages, right? You will make a neighborhood to subject themselves to not disposing that on their own, but to give that responsibility to whosoever that is registered under the corporation to keep Monrovia clean. While it's true that the corporation can also play that role in other aspects, but the corporation serve as primary regulators
Yeah.
to ensure that the city is clean. Because when JJ Sanitation is signed out to Memorial City Corporation, and I'm operating in this place, and I know that I'm so in Memorial City Corporation, I'm operating in that domain, and the people not paying, they will get involved. And when the people paying but not collecting the debt, they will get involved to ensuring that the community is clean. So these are things that we need to look at. We will get to other aspects, but I don't want to put it into a sector. I want to put it into a specific activities because when I start putting it into a sector, that means I will start to cover all some of the gaps that every country has difficulty. Just that our own
Yeah.
difficulty may be different from their difficulty. And, their own problem may be different from our problem, but at least the common one, the one the other both people can say, providing social amenities, the ensuring that social development, the well-being of the people is intact. These are things that we need to look at. Thank you very much, Mr. But I will touch on the Ebola issue maybe in subsequent time if we get back there. And the
Yeah,
mechanism.
sure. And like you said, once you outsource this kind of activities, you also create a job. Just imagine you have a company that responsible to provide cleanup to various ministries, you know. And then Ministry A, maybe probably they call a company, look, we want like 10 cleanups. And you guys, those people will just be able to clean the place, and maybe the company going to provide the soap, all those things that, you know, they will need to do all those things. You also create job. And like with even the waste company, if you have many people, you have that kind of a private partnership with the city corporation, you're also going to create job. Let's say, for example, maybe in Morovia, you have more than, let's just say, 10 companies, for example, that in various areas. You know how many jobs those companies going to create in Liberia? Those companies going to create jobs. And then, like you said, you just set all those things that those people within the community is going to follow. Make sure that, because somebody, one of my friend can say, who not let better thing. Everybody love better things. Everybody want to see their environment clean. So once you put a kind of a, system in place where you have those people that are responsible to collect these garbages around, you have people giving the garbage to Zoko, because it means that we're going to call all landlords. We're calling all landlords for meeting. It means that if you have your house, landlord, you make sure everybody that come to your house is supposed to pay the amount. If it doesn't pay, it means that you will pay. You will pay. It's just the water bill here. The water bill is almost a resting on the landlord. Yes. So you find out that most of the landlord usually send the water bills at the end of the day, even if they're not living in the house register, they need been registered on the identical, water bill issue coming to their homes. So whether you in the house or you spend 15 years, the landlord doesn't pressure you. The moment you leave that house, it means all that bills, the landlord will show it. So that's why even before you leave, the landlord gonna check if you still have outstanding bill, bro, you're gonna pay. Because the issue is not from the tenants. The issue is from the landlord and the government. So I think that kind of a system is okay like that. Where you have a house, once you enter, the landlord sees you, try to give you a contract and say, look, you have these bills to pay, you have water bills to pay, you have garbage bills to pay, and the garbage bill every month it costs this. Yes, the water bill for it is kind of it somehow sometimes fluctuates. It's not normal. Sometimes it change. All depends how you use the water. So it means that once all these landlords come together, the government call various landlords, for a meeting and then sit and discuss this thing. I think there are a lot of things going to go in place in our country. Just imagine the entire state of Moravia, we run water all over, and then each house have water system there. They have water within the house. So it means that you force to use that water, and you start getting rid of wells. People start covering the wells that they dug in their homes. So at the end of the day, it's almost going to be like those landlords, you force to pay that bills, because if your tenant who is in the house, when he or she leaves without paying the bills is on you. You're going to pay. So I
Yeah,
think
Mr.
we can
Ballah, sorry to interrupt you. Okay, okay, finish, conclude.
yeah. So I say I think we can try to look in that direction if we want to have a very clean city, and we want for the issue about the water. People should pay the water bills. People shouldn't be like bypassing China. For the power part, no, you get a meter. The person can recharge. It depends. If it doesn't put current in your meter, I mean you don't have a light to your house, so you forced to do it. But for the water you're not forced, but you compare, because you need to use water every day. You can use water without using the power. So once you have that system where once the landlord enter the place, you renting the person house, they give you that kind of a contract. Look, you will pay the water bill every month. You will pay and before you leave, we have to make sure that we check all these things, make sure that you are not owing water bills. When it comes to the garbage company you operating, we're going to call them to find out how much you owe them. And then we make sure you pay everything before leaving. We're going to have a very good system in our place. I think it's going to contribute to, but it need more awareness, educating the people about the important. It need more awareness, and we can start small. All these things we're not doing yet, it doesn't just blow I know, came from the blue moon, and then everything just become normal like what we see in here. There are a lot of processes, there are a lot of steps, there are a lot of obstacles, but to control people is not easy. But as time goes by, people say now like enjoying the beauty. Sometimes when you walking on the roadside to even throw or bottle, if you, for example, you drink the water to even dispose the bottle, your own conscience can tell you, say you can see how the place is clean and you want to throw the bottle here. Amen. My grandma can say it's difficult for men to in know their conscience. I remember one time we came from class, we were walking, doing the environmental science stuff. So one of me had a mineral bottle, we know the chunky. I said, you doing environmental studies, and then you try to dispose of bottle, you looking at how clean is this city. What the conscience telling you? I mean, you better everywhere you carry environmental thing now, start joking with it. But it's kind of important. If you're walking in the people's street, you can sit down in some of those drainages, you eat. Sometimes your conscience I can tell you say the road you walking, you looking and the place is clean. Don't put that there. Except that maybe you somehow possess, you will bypass that conscience and then you go and dispose the garbage in that place. We got more to do, and I think we have to understand that nobody can develop our country more than we ourselves. It starts, the development should start from us. All this mechanism, because if it comes to population, it's not possible for the foreigner to be more than the people who own the country. It's not possible. So once you have the kind of a system in place, getting landlord connected, I think something going to work. Yeah, you can come in. So before you come, let me just recognize some people here. We got David Flomo. David Flomo is watching, by the way. He's one of our members. He said good show, and I appreciate David. And then Avina Thompson said, we not a problem when it comes to clean city. Okay, Avina, thank you. She also read something on Ebola stock here. We must act now to prevent further spread of Ebola virus. If we do not act collectively, the Ebola virus will wipe all population. That's truth. Yeah. So let's hear you, JJ.
Yeah, I don't want to be like I'm trying to regress, but there's something I thought of mentioning, and you spoke of the drainage system, and I think that's one of our fundamental problems we have whenever we are doing infrastructure development, specifically roads. You see, and I want to, give my appreciation to the water and soil boss in trying to work somehow in that way. It is good that we interconnect our drainage systems or the drainages. You
Yeah.
understand? Because if you interconnect the drainages, you will have the collection of bad water flowing to a specific location. Just take for example now, this park that is right near Unilac. You see that they are trying to have an eco park
Yeah.
on that wetland. Do you know what the people did to even have water in the middle of that place now? I don't know whether you have when you go to town you will see that they have a very I know big I know pond or man-made lake. They will give it some kind of name where I know when they complete. Drink water from up far away. They directed that water in a way that it should go to that land. So now you see now they have all now they building that park. You will be surprised how the water coming into the area, the inflows of water. Then
Yeah.
another thing is because of I think I wanted to touch on the electricity aspect as a sub activities that we can copy. You see, while it's true that Liberians we are our own problem, that is no doubt. But we are our own problem because the country is polarized politically. Mr. Ballah, politics are interest.
Yeah.
And once you vice president, you want to be president, there are something you gotta compromise. Once you're president going for a re-election, there are some things you gotta compromise. Once you're president, even if you're not going for a re-election, there are some things you still gotta compromise. Because if you not do so, you lose confidence. When you lose
Yeah.
confidence, when the people lose confidence in you, impeachment is possible. And nobody want that record. And you
Yeah.
understand? But we are our own problem in a way, specifically with the electricity aspect, because some people won't consume activities or services, but they don't want to pay. It's not that they don't have the means to pay, but the tendency that this is government, during the one that we elected and is stealing from us too. Who elected them? They steal from you because you stole from them. You gave your stomach up, you gave them food. You open your wallet, they give you money, you give them food. So you expect the people to do the same thing to you. If you organize yourself to say no, we will go for this man is a man of the people. With money or without money, we want him. We want him. But another thing to power intoxicate people. When the people get confident in you, they put you there now, then you
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 can't jump.
become so extraordinary. So we are fundamentally we are our problem too. But let's talk about the good, the service, the consumption of electricity, right? I think what we need to do, I don't know, despite we are still struggling to get to increase our capacity of electricity instead for us to supply more, you gotta add incentives. You will see that many Rwandese, even with the foreigners, right? Sometimes we wait for the first of the month, between the first and the fourth of the month. If we want to buy like maybe certain amount of cash power, we wait for that time because we know they will multiply. If we have that kind of system in place, I don't know. I'm not speaking from, okay, I don't want to say that I'm not speaking from the point of being well informed, but I want to believe because I consume electricity in Liberia before, before leaving. So the time I was consuming electricity in Liberia, there was no bonus given to me. So I don't know whether there's bonus now. But if you try to add that incentives, you will somehow one way or the other, while it's true that you get tax force on ground, you will somehow one way or other find people and forging LEC or defrauding LEC. You understand? You will find people to be encouraged to say, okay, I was saying I can consume 20 naira or 15 naira every month. I will wait for the first month. I buy my 15 naira current for me to get some incentives. But I mean, the thing is not being, no incentive is being attached. You understand? Yeah, people in my Gibi, the same kilowatt, 10 naira current giving them. The people in Mora, the same kilowatt, 10 naira current giving them. You should look at the social structure. What are the activities, the economic activities in Magibi that have absorbed, vast majority of the population to give them living wages? Why is true that maybe we want to talk about the living wages is not everywhere. Even in Morovia, there are some people still being underpaid for their labor. But you got to understand the social economic context of those various locations. You cannot say the man is in central Morovia, maybe he getting like 15 kilowatts on a certain amount of power that he purchased on a certain amount. Then the man in my Gibi is getting the same 15 kilowatt on that same amount. So if you do that, I mean, people say they're taking all the same. You got to understand the price discrimination in a way for the pro pool and agenda. I don't want to say pro-pool agenda, but for the pro-pool, you got to look at it in that direction. How you incentivize and electricity as well. And to end on this note, with these efforts that these people have made, it will surprise you to know that Rwanda HDR has improved. It has improved recently for the spring meeting in New York. I don't know, I think in New York or Washington, the World Bank, every year the spring meeting, Rwanda were giving an award. for the effort they have exerted so far to ensuring that the social condition of the people is being improved. And that's what they have continued to do. And everything is not all rosary. I have worked on one workshop. I went to one workshop. I think it was like, I think, yeah, it was this HDR of which they received the award for. And, I was for Musansi with UNDP and other organization. We had a validation workshop of the country report, and it was quite impressive. So I think this country is doing extremely well, despite their chaos and trials and problem. Yeah, but at least we have to look at it in that direction to ensuring that we seek the interests of the people. Thank you very much.
Sure. Talking about, thank you, JJ, for your points. Talking about the uh issue about electricity, to me, yeah, we can do that when it comes to the pricings of electricity. We can do that. But when it comes to people, there are people like you say who want to consume more electricity and they don't want to pay for it. I think one thing we should understand in Liberia is consume what you're capable of paying for. So if you have people being honest to themselves, like we got meter, I got meter already here, and I know that I'm supposed to put this amount of money in the meter every time to have power. I shouldn't call another person to come do some duplication of some kind of different connection, that in a way that I will not be paying, the power will just be there. And it will shock you to know that you see some homes, beautiful homes. You see, they say, like, man, civilized home. And they carry on the similar activities. And they feel smart. I was witnessing a video on Facebook. LEC went to a home, very decent compound. They put have the generator in the place. I know how the data connection, if you're not smart, you enter there, you feel that you're using the meter. They put data
Bro,
connection
the
or
country running one bridge. Not get
so
technique and surviving it.
the way those guys did the connection in our house, if you enter there, you're not smart. You will feel that about them using a power, man, them using there's something, but they are not using it. Those guys detected that identical connection. They bust the wall. And when I saw that connection, I got shocked. I said, wow, people really talented. And a very decent home, but you want to carry on criminal activity. And at the end of the day, you say government is not doing this. Government is not doing this. Let us know that you have more than 100% who are on power theft. Do you know how much dollars the government going to lose? And you're looking at all those kind of responsibility that is shouldering on the government. You're talking about roads, you're talking about healthcare, you're talking about education, all those things. Just imagine everything is resting. All those things resting on government. But you too now, you don't want to help government. You don't want to help government. Once you get on government payroll now, you feel relaxed. You in here when you say nobody can take me easy. So sometimes you don't even go to work. And I was following one other guy. This I put I even bringing shit into the let me just squeeze there one in to the CDC government. They been say doing the CDC government our own payroll. So they asking, they say, were you working? The company said no, he wasn't working. But you were on a payroll. For God's sake. How can you be on a payroll, on government payroll, every month you receive a salary, but you are not working? And at the end of the day, you want for government to do well. Look at the public hospital. Look at the schools. You want for government to do well. What do you think government gonna take all these funds from? It's through you. It's through you. So that's why, like you, even when it comes to the water aspect, like you're talking about that water and swamp group, I think if you also create that kind of another company should be there to produce, to supply water from the another end. You can't get water in swamp having a whole burden on the head. They should be able to share it. Maybe you look at places like Grand Gile. Another company could be in Grand Gile, share water in River G, and like that. Do you know how the amount of water people consume every day? You know how much going to go in government cover when you have a good system in place that everybody paying their water bills, all the way close all the wells, and then you have water 24/7 providing the water. How much government going to generate. So I think it's we ourselves, despite government has their own problem, but we should understand that when we say government, government is us. When we say Liberia, Liberia is us. The moment everybody leave that place, it was sometime maybe that name might change. If all the people in that country leave Liberia go to different country, that name might change. That place. So we the one, we are Liberia. So in order for us to make Liberia better, our that why the honorable have the changing mind, changing attitude. I think you Lawrence Command Bople. Changing minds, changing attitude. We gotta change our mind. Like the way we do things, we want to see and the funny part about it, most of our people, our lawmakers, they usually travel even when it comes to security. Gregor Common been coming in the country every time. But you still seeing what's happening. You been coming, been having meeting. You seeing 30 person here, they trained in. I think they went back. They said they're going to send another 30 again. Lopo went back, somebody or gave me a J. They said they went back a very new uniform were on them. The uniform they came with when they went back with was new, brand. Like the government were not sorry for them. And according to information, Rwanda, they got a special company that responsible for all the uniforms for security people. They sew it for you. So you're not going to be taking the uniform from China to bring it. You get one group that are responsible to sew government security uniform. Another company there. So the guys went with brand new uniform. But let them go use that uniform for some time. You see what happened. You see how these people are looking here. So I don't know how we working, we copying, we coming, spending government resources, traveling, coming. Most especially, let me say, these officials, they coming. But I don't know when they go back, what they can really carry. Is it the political will is lacking? They can pull in for these things. And because one citizen will say, in 2029 coming, you're taking off from relay, you see what will happen. That kind of a threatening remark. So the government now they have to put themselves together. So, but on the overall, we have to change our minds. We have to change our attitude. If we really want for Liberia to go somewhere, for Liberia to progress, we need to change our minds and stop stealing power. Yeah, stop stealing power. Gotta change our mind. That's why the country, there are a lot of things people complaining. You can't even sleep in peace. The place heated. You can't even open your window small. Say you say you want for quite to can you say with fishing everything for you. What's that? Come here. We got more to do, and that's why today I thought of us, we're discussing at the back for us to come to discuss some of these things, looking at what we are seeing in Rwanda here. Like we spoke of road connectivities, we spoke of the security, see how clean the people's security are. And this thing is unique every part of Rwanda. It's not the only one in the city. Those one that are assigned only to the office, they are the one. And, if you go more about the police that are assigned to Central, they are very unique. They clean to Central. Yeah, but visit all other depots around. You see, so it shouldn't be one place. It should be able to decentralize these kind of activities, then go across. Yeah. So you can come in.
Yeah, Mr. Ballah. So why both of us more or less agree on almost everything we have covered, but I want to somehow respectfully disagree with that statement that you say government should open up, the water service to another private good. Those are public good. Those are public good. If you do that, then you open up that line for more of profit driven instead of service delivery. Because you can have a company in Grange there that's supplying water to the rural communities. But then you have to regulate them.
Yeah, sure.
No, because the company has their means of production. They calculate their profit, how much they spend, how much they expect, and those household that they have to supply, and the amount they have to charge to. Because the private is profit driven. Public is service driven. Despite they earn little or no revenue. But the idea is once those services are being provided to the people and they are satisfied and the revenue generated from those services can sustain the service, then that's a good thing. But you cannot have a like even in Nigeria, you still have the same problem. Do you know that the electricity supply in Nigeria, I mean, it has been privatized as well? Of
Yeah, but
course, it has
that's
been.
why it's all
I'm
over. That's
coming.
why.
I'm coming in. It has been
Mhm.
privatized, but yet and still, it has never solved the issue of electricity in Nigeria. That's why we cannot compare, the Nigerian
Uh,
electricity with like, but yet and still, it has not yet addressed the issue. What we can do, we can talk about the health and education. I mean, they get the government into health as well as other private institutions into health. But you see, let me tell you, those things, like I said, public goods, those things can be politicized. And you, as a government, if you try to do that, you are kicking yourself in the leg. What we need is adequate support to those state-owned companies.
okay.
State-owned companies. You need adequate support to those state-owned companies, and you need competent and patriots, Liberian, patriotic Liberian, to I mean from all structure, from manager down to the least, to ensuring that service delivery is not just lip syncing. It's knowledge in action or it's action as a whole. Must ensure they should be uncomfortable when this is a community and this community does not have water, this community does not have proper drainage system. They must be uncomfortable that this community does not have electricity. Once the adequate support pull in, they need efficient and effectiveness to ensure that those services are provided. Mind you, my brother, if you prioritize these state-owned companies, like if you prioritize a sector, let me just say it like that. I mean, it's a recipe that you are doomed to fall, our government.
That
Because
that that. Uh-huh.
remember, you are not a capitalist.
It's true, but that's how you look at it. Look right now, if you comparing the electricity in Nima, that jungle water
Yeah,
is
you
supplying.
see, jungle water supply electricity in Nima.
Yeah. So if you look at the electricity jungle water providing Nima and the one in Morovia, the one in Nima is more stable than the one in Morovia. The one in Nima is more stable than the one in Morovia. The problem is
Electricity is a right of a
we
citizen.
understand it's all right, but you have
So
to pay
yeah,
for it now.
let
The
me tell
government
you
doesn't have
something,
all the
Mr.
funds.
Ballah. Let me tell you that coming. Let me tell you this. The
Mhm.
reason why I'm saying we should not even encourage that conversation, right? You still have big players in central government, even out of government. They although some of them may be friends with the government, you still have big player there. I don't want to cast expression on the management of jungle water, but jungle water, you see what made it being sustained? He has friends.
Yeah, all the political.
Eh? He has friends. And once you have friends now, the resources that government supposed to pull in to strengthen service delivery from the angle of a governmental entity that is responsible for that service, it will be weakened. And you know what the focus will go? To the private company.
The private
And
company.
Liberia wants stable electricity. So that means you will make the country as a whole to lose hope. in the institution that's also getting legislated. And if you're doing that, you profit making on the other side. While you are profit making, do you know what happening? Politicians will divert that those resources that are supposed to go to LEC, LWSC. They will divert those resources. This is not an expression I'm casting. That's a fact. They will divert those resources and open that small companies, or even sponsor the big players in that sector. When business is booming, profit coming out. When profit coming out, it benefiting the actor of the system, not the system. So
But
when you see it, like, I'm coming. When you see it like that now, when you say private companies should go there, maybe in Grand G there, maybe Zopena may have been one of a piggy. They open a company, and maybe that's open responsible to make sure resources go to this sector. So they would take some of those resources, or he use a personal resources to profit from the business, because they know that government will lack the capacity to do so. So once you prioritize those public goods, you are simply trying to tell Liberians government is unable to provide you these basic social amenities. Now there will be no competition between the government and private sector, because you just mentioned jungle water, electricity is more stable than LDC. So you want to
yeah,
understand the power play that you think of it. Saying it's the most stable than LDC, why is it that LDC are not making their duty now to ensure that our presence is felt in that country everywhere? Because you see, there will be no competition there. Even the LDC, some part of the United States, there are no competition there. People will prefer jungle water because it's stable, reliable, despite it might not be affordable. People will compare that one to the LEC that is unreliable, that is unstable, but affordable.
no, but
And
I
like
think
you said, that would
the
not want better.
overall the overall goal about the whole thing is our people should get those services.
Our people should get those services well and good, but getting those services, you should get those services in quality, in comfort, that I mean, let me tell you something. Delivering those services is another thing, but allowing the people to have confidence in that governmental institution. You see, everybody lose confidence in LDC and say library expecting current. People don't take it serious. And you understand? So, and you do not want to collapse state-owned company. If you do that, you are collapsing the state-owned company. You are making the people to lose trust in that company. And when the people do lose trust in that company, my brother, it boils down to your leadership. That's why you start becoming
No,
irrelevant.
they are there once you have good supervision. Supervision matters. Once you have good supervision, there are those
Wait, I
companies.
won't understand. Sorry. I won't understand the content when you say good supervision. I'm telling you, even if LDC is regulating this legislative stuff, like you wanted to now we get a library legislative regulatory authority, right? And you say you want to privatize the sector. I'm telling you for sure, LDC will continue to be stored. You will see the private sector, private company thriving. You will see them making money. Because you know what? The reason, imagine if LDC will get like 4 million for this community or for the country, right? They will reduce it, but say, but they get other people in the same country providing the same services. They said no, we want to reduce the cost on our people. They said no, we'll call the people to the table to reduce the cost. If we call the people to the table to reduce the cost, how long will they reduce the cost for? I see that the same struggle we have with the people that are producing mineral water. You understand? You get them, they can say, okay, we'll say that we'll come rest so they will reduce our price. Tomorrow, bam. Just for that 2-3 days, that will increase our price. You know the profit they make? You know the profit they will make? So they will just say, okay, government will tell you like that will increase it small, soon you call your attention, then will drop it. After 2, 3 months, we'll put it up. That's how it happens. But if you are allowing that thing to happen in the LWSC and LEC and other sector, my brother, you know what you're doing? You're getting powerful men that have the capacity. Because you know that private sector, you will not gonna pay your picking to do your work, then you're paying a liar picking to sit down on it. Because you're picking you tell picking the more he work, he get more money. So the man will make as much as possible to market your product. And when you're marketing your product, making it more reliable, more sustainable, you say we not want better thing. Once LEC is stable, once the current is stable, people is willing to pay. Because they want power to produce other commodities. They want power for other comfort. So when you prioritize that, I mean, you get a private company making more profit, and you will still allow the people to lose confidence in LDC. But
Okay,
another thing
thank
that
you.
we need to touch on, and
Okay.
then I think we almost around time of closer.
Yeah, so
That you know with
let me come in
regards.
small, then you can come back. So folks, if you are watching, this is Screen Vision. Today we are discussing some national and international issues. We spoke on the Ebola that is currently in DRC, and right now we are talking about some activities that we are seeing in Rwanda here when it comes to development. Like Liberia need to adapt. We've been talking about a lot of things. I think you've been following, so you can also form part of the conversation. Drop your comment. What's your thought? Should we privatize those like we talk about issue about water and soil? Should we share it, bring another company in to help water and soil in the process to make our people, to for the water to take over the entire Morovia? Or should we also bring another company in that will help EDC in the process, or private company that will also be producing or electricity that our people going to benefit from the other side? Because like I was saying, the essence of the whole thing is for our people to get the service. And like JJ says, not only getting the service, but how reliable the service is going to be, the quality, and how affordable the service is going to be. All those counts. So what's your thought? You can just drop it in the comment in the section, and we can talk about it. So we don't have much time. We're about to go a few minutes from now. We'll be leaving. We want to say thanks for everything. Thanks for always joining us. We're all going to be here every Sunday to have this kind of a discussion. Let's go back. Yeah. So JJ, you can come. You can come.
Yeah, so if I may want to agree with you on the privatization of those services, maybe here's an alternative. The alternative is saying we get the people with capacity, individual. I'm not saying just ordinary, individual with a capacity to operate an electricity company. Maybe you open shareholdings to
Okay.
individuals. When those individuals pull in their resources in LWC, in LWSC, and in LEC, it will increase LEC capacity
Yeah. Sure.
to generate power. And when it increase those resources, when it increase the company capacity to generate power, it will also increase that capacity to supply. And mind you, you are a shareholder. At least every year you're getting something. Though LEC is not really for profit making, but it's for service delivery. Though they make some money, they contribute to the budget, but it's particularly for service delivery. So when you get those individuals and even those big companies to say, okay, I will pull in some resources to be a shareholder, and but you gotta be very careful in doing that. You will not just open it up to everyone, because when you get individuals that pull in more resources now, then they become like the boxing god for the operation. And you understand? But I think the best way possible, instead of the alternative, the best way possible, let us have a conscious minded leaders,
Yeah.
conscious leaders, that the people they are people centric driven, to ensuring that if Like sometimes I ask myself, I will get back to the LDC aspect while we are coming to close. Sometimes I ask myself, I was doing my checkup today from my county. I see that we have 8 administrative districts in Riverside County, and I think we get 3 electoral districts. So sometimes I ask myself, right? Like, I mean, Mr. John, you representative of the district. I mean, your status have changed. To be honest, you were a poor man in the village. You persevere and you came out one way or the other, got yourself educated, find yourself professional life, later on you go by in politics, and now your status have changed. You are living in a better house, you have flush toilet, you have electricity, your children goes to good school. I mean, like, what does it take now for the people's status to change as well? Though you just one among thousands, one among million. I think the population of rural say 90,000. Urban carry 10, I think urban carry 10 or 15,000 and rural carry the rest. That's why we are with new sensor. But I mean, what does it take? You from the village, maybe you get about 4 different towns in this district or in this clan or whatsoever, 4 different household, and like just estimate the amount of household you get in this clan. What does it take that you say, okay, I will take like 3 years to give my people proper housing? I mean, the thing where you just build and just say you're go inside your moving because you're not put there. I mean, the house where you yourself, even when you retire from politics, you can feel comfortable to stay in. One step at a time. What does it take for you to do that? Sometimes, Mr. Ballah, it will surprise you to know, right? I don't know the part of River G you from or the part of Lofa you from, right? But it will surprise you to know. Of it, it will surprise you to know that where you are from over 30 years, they put on know that they got flush toilet.
Sure.
Over time, I think River G came in, River G, Bapuru, and they came in late. Where's it over the 10, 15, 20 years? They don't know what they call flush toilet. What does it take now as a leader? Your status has changed, to be honest. You no longer live in an area where you gotta use bucket to flush. Or you gotta use the other means, different means that you used to use from the village. What does it take to say I will dedicate myself, even if the executive who is responsible to provide housing. This is another thing we'll have to talk on another time. The Liberal Housing Authority does not mean well for the population in the country. It does not mean well for the population in the country. I think either way they have to be immersed in another ministry or another structure of government instead of them just being liberal because they are not doing a jink. The common people can say a jink they are not doing. Thank you very much.
It's almost time for us to go. You spoke of a lawmaker trying to build, like halls that you think. Just imagine the district. You know how many districts within that place. Who are you going to build a house for? And who are those people? The housing activity is not going to cover. Do you think a lawmaker really capacity in that kind of
No,
a
you are not
position?
understanding me. You are not understanding. Assuming JJ is a lawmaker from one of these electoral districts, right? JJ is from Norwen Town or Norwen Administrative District, and he's from the Guest Town. The Guest Town, let's assume about maybe you get about 15 household in that town. Where you from, my brother? Where you from? What does it take now to say for the 15 household? I will take. I'm not saying you should do the whole district. It takes time. It takes time. But I mean, to be honest, why you should? I'm not saying lawmakers should do that. I know I'm fully aware of their function, representation, lawmaking, and oversight. But if you not spend 6 years there, you say you made law. the law not effective. What kind of law you making? That what kind of law are you prioritizing to be effective for the well-being of the people? Law to pass taxation, law to build school in Moria.
Okay, okay, okay.
You
Thank you.
know?
Because it will give you all the time you we will
Yes,
discuss.
I'm gonna say I'm watching the time. So yeah, I'm watching the time. I know it's supposed to leave. So in short, right,
Mm.
you can dedicate your those are activity for the executive. Executive not doing it, and you too, you don't have the balls to hold on to the fire because the executive giving you money, you enjoying the money too. So why you need to do it in a smart way? The money taken from there, use the money one step at a time. You'll find some client, you'll find some client only 10 hustle in that whole client.
And the thing about it, we can read like why you say yeah, you can really allow the people look. You also you can be your debt breaks because debt break is very good info. I will see some like home you and myself you know what happened here one night. Your major debt breaks. I will bring cement. We will bring camo.
Made
We
it
get
land
wood.
available. I'm
Let all
telling you, brother.
available. You get wood. We can
Recently
get power
in
source. We
Ethiopia,
get
the people
power
build
source.
like okay, you go to Busanza in the country. I think where Brooks live, a national
Mm.
house there for the people.
Yeah, I saw that.
Propos. Why you sure that you they will pay small thing for the sustainability? But I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about you in the context of the land they get it. The land they get it. What you need to do is my people, let do joint resources. Even if you don't want to put in all your fund, Mumbo last fund for other places. Let the people put effort. And you know you will create job right there. Because the people that come and build all the engineer you bring in, they will gotta hire those local contractors for their own well-being. You make the people form part of that development just within that client. Let's assume your district get about 30 or 15 clients, your district alone. When you can do two or three for your whole year in has been represented, my brother, you upskill them. They'll get another almost 6 years. 6 years is not joke. Even though they're quite to finish, but they're not joke. What does it take? Because you do not have
Yeah,
the boss as an individual. Legislative politics are normal. So when a
yeah,
ruling
sure.
party get majority, you can't do fine. So what you need to do now, you liaise with them. Because the thing is about the well-being of the people. Mind you, if you start to lift your county, your district, all the people will be attracted to your area. Oh, no one time, my man, the horses are in that area. Not in that area, tell
All the
that
ones
village.
they got, all the ones they got come on, man.
Yeah, not just camo. Because it's
Flashing
some
come
other,
on, eh?
so no, some other, those are flush camo, but they can get flush camo, but they still be using water.
Yeah, so the issue here is the issue is, when it comes to that aspect, come once you have a camo, it's okay. You know, you a big protein,
Okay,
maybe how you going to
yeah,
our
but I
first step
mean,
there, at least once you get that one,
yeah,
you get me so put barrel in your place. The other you get camo in your house, you get towel in
imagine
your
you
house,
in
your wall in
Monrovia,
Casper.
you sleeping in good bed, you driving good car, your status has changed. But do you care about the status of the villager? Because you say they are villagers, so that means they are subjected to using banana leaves. Because you say they are
Okay.
villagers, that means they are subjected to. I don't want to be too extremist.
Thank you so much.
I don't want to be harm my government.
So
But that's just a reality, you know. That's just a
the
reality.
people of
But
River State will vote. The people of
some
River
things
State
that
will
we
vote for
touch
you.
on, but we did not touch on about the civil servants at Ministry of Internal Affairs. But me, I put my more there. Tribal people, traditional people in there.
No, go there. So we can have it another time. We can do that another time. So first, we want to say thank you. What's up, Avina K. Thompson? Avina Thompson, what's up? Thank you so much for following us. We want to appreciate you a lot. So, come here, I want to say thank you, man. You can just do your closing and let appreciate our people who've been following us, so we can call this a day. You have been a very
Yeah,
good conversation.
yeah, yeah. Thank you, Mr. Bala. You know, to our people in Radio Land and watching online, so through our different social media platform, YouTube. First of all, I would like to encourage you to encourage your friend, and your friend encourage your friend to at least and follow us on Facebook and as well as YouTube. Sometimes you may miss these conversations on Facebook, but I mean YouTube is perpetual. You can just go. You can even download if you wish. You can download, and so maybe the day you do not have internet, you can just pick chance. The day you go to somebody office, they get Wi-Fi. You just download one of our interesting conversation and just be in your phone, and give us some like and share and everything. But on the overall, I think. For tonight conversation was fascinating, and though we did not exhaust all of the point because of time factor, but I would like to appreciate those who listen to us. And I mean, sometimes it's not just about following. We are providing to you all. And again, I appreciate you, Mr. Bala, for this opportunity. It's something that we should be here to stay, to engage with our audience and provide information where necessary. Thank you very much for the opportunity given me over the period of time now.
Thank you so much, JJ. Indeed, folks, if you are watching, you've been following us, this is Screen Vision. We're always coming to you live from Kigali, Rwanda. And we want to say thanks for being part of the family. By the way, we hit 1K yesterday. I want to say congratulations to every one of you who has one way or other subscribed. You've been following our discussion. We don't know all. That's why we just leave the portion for comments. You can also kind of chip in once we are discussing, this kind of national issues, international issues. You got some ideas we share together. This is another form of creating awareness, putting our people feet to fire what they should do. It's kind of important. So don't just be watching. What's your thought on all of those things we've been discussing? Maybe now you are just coming, maybe you are just coming across the video now. We've been talking a lot of things. Just try to listen to the video from the start to end, and you can drop your comment. Somebody might see it. Your comment might contribute. So we want to appreciate every one of you for being part of this family. But also want to encourage you to subscribe to the YouTube, like Sylvester said, so that our number can increase. And we hope to be here next Sunday again to discuss some important issues. So thank you so much for always following us. Once more, my name is Titus V. Ballah. And before I go, I want to say good evening to every Liberians here in Rwanda who are studying, most especially those who are at the verge of graduating. There are a lot of Liberians that have been defending for the past two months now. Liberians are defending, graduation is around the corner. It's not like we usually say, it's not easy to live outside here, while your parents are not here. So we want to say congratulations to you guys for the hard work, the effort so far. We know that Liberia you want to carry some different level of understanding back home that are going to contribute to society. And not only contributing to society, but at least your own family to go on and improve. So once more, thanks for following us. We see you next Sunday. Come here. Have a good night.
Likewise.
Okay.